Hey, what's going on, everyone? Prince L, Doctor of Acupuncture Oriental Medicine, financial planner, licensed in insurance, aspiring investment agent. And today, I want to talk to you a little bit about one of the subjects that was in the recent poll I put together a few days ago. And it was on investment risk. Okay, that was one of the subjects that you, the viewing audience, was interested in hearing. And today I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about that. Be sure to hit the like button wherever it is, share, subscribe, all that other stuff. Turn your notifications on. I really appreciate it. Right. So before I really get into investment risk, I want to talk more so about risk management. Okay. Now, the purpose of this video is strictly for education and information because I believe firmly that the best kind of client is an informed client. Now, whether that's with holistic health, allopathic medicine, or looking into, becoming financially wealthy, there are a lot of things that you have to manage, namely the risk, okay? You have to understand what risk go into, the decisions that you make. So, when it comes to risk management, especially regarding our finances, we want to understand what investment risk is. And that just goes without saying that one should never, ever use more money than that they can afford to lose. All right. So that's going to be one of the first things. Whatever it is that you're going to invest into, you must be prepared to go without it or potentially lose it, depending on what kind of security or market of securities you would be looking into. Now, because this is strictly education, if you're interested in finding out more, you want to talk more about your particular interest or particular investment vehicle, feel free to slide into the DMs and let's definitely talk about that. Okay. But here's what I want you to also understand about how to effectively manage your risk, right? So, like, here's an example, real life example of managing risk. Someone made sure that they put a fence there so that way, in the event that someone like myself is walking past the gate, the dogs don't get me. That's a real world application or illustration of risk management, because the owner of those dogs, if those dogs were to bite me, well, we might have to talk about some, civil disputes. But that being a whole other discussion for why you may want to consider having prepaid legal, especially in the state of Florida, especially in this Florida territory. Leave a comment and I'll be sure to talk about it. But one of the things that we have to really consider is our risk when it comes to what many of us consider to be assets in our life. All right. Now, to help you understand what an asset really is, an asset is something that generates income. Okay. So when it comes to investments, people are often looking to invest or put money into a market of securities or financial products that will give them income. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but later on down the line, because it's not about today that we're concerned about. One of the top two risks that most and fears that most consumers have is outliving their money. Okay. Now, if the fear of outliving your money is something that you're concerned about, especially since, the majority of my viewing audience are all healthy people, you way to go, you healthy people, you, right? The majority of you are going to live a very long time. And what does that potentially mean for you as an investment risk? Well, depending on the investment risk or the investment that you choose, you potentially could outlive your money. And that's not fun, because then that means we become someone else's financial burden, like our children. So if you've got children and you're thinking about how not to be a financial burden to them, you need to really pay attention to what we're about to talk about next, okay? So, for all the things that you've got your goals and dreams set to, because, hey, maybe you're keeping up with the Joneses and you want to get a house or you want to get that dream car. some things that you want to consider with those is that unless you're paying those things off cash money immediately, you're going to end up having to pay tomorrow's money today to get to purchase those things. So it may be in your interest to wait on investing into some of those things, because for the time being, anything that takes money out of your pocket is a financial liability. Okay, so be mindful. This is about thinking towards the future. So as an investment risk, or as a hedge against and a form of managing that type of risk, it would be a good idea to have insurance on those types of things, right? So when it comes to investment risk, one of the things that exists out there, for most people that are familiar with it, the Federal Deposit Insurance Company, right? What they do is they insure each separate owned account up to $250,000. So if you've got double, triple, quadruple, or more, right, consider having separate accounts for different things, different accounts for different things, maxed out at 250,000, because FDIC only insures your deposits up to that amount. Okay, now when it comes to investments, you have something called the SIPC. Okay, SIPC, Securities Investor Protection Corporation. All right, now they have a very similar insurance policy on 500,000, of which $250,000 cash is insurable. Okay, so anything above that, you're going to need to create separate accounts. Now I'm talking to you mostly about the non-qualified accounts, right? These are your savings and your checkings accounts usually, and if you've got like some type of brokerage account, that might also be included in that, right? Of course, for your savings and checking, FDIC applies. For your investments, SIPC applies. Okay, now what that should also illustrate to you is that whether you're purchasing a house, purchasing a car, or making a deposit into a bank account, you need to have some form of insurance. Now let's talk about insurance as a form of risk management. If you've been getting value all the way up to this point, please be sure to hit that like button. If you've been watching this long, let me know, hey, pretty interesting stuff. I appreciate you. I appreciate your commentary. All right. I appreciate the encouragement for everybody that's out there that's been supporting me. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. One love. Okay. So, insurance as a form of risk management. Car insurance. At the end of your car insurance, do you get any money back? No. Why? Because the insurance is there in the event that something bad happens. What does it do? It replaces the vehicle, or helps to pay in the cost of repairs for the damages, right? House insurance, especially if you're in the state of Florida, you're probably looking at flood insurance, and depending where you might be someplace else, maybe even a little tornado insurance. I don't know. Property and casualties got that. That's a whole other area of insurance that I'm not even gonna even talk about just right now. But in any case, something happens to the house. What does the insurance do? It makes the repairs for the home, right? Or helps you to replace or relocate, into a new home. That's what insurance does. When it comes to life insurance, though, someone got the great idea of saying, let's add a savings component to insurance. Now, that's one type of insurance, and that's called cash value insurance. All right, otherwise known as permanent, otherwise known as whole life. Okay, and index universal life policies work in a very similar capacity, but maybe that's for another discussion. Right now, we're talking about risk management, and it's getting kind of windy, so I got to make this a little bit quick. All right, plus I don't want to keep you much longer. I value your time. So here goes. All right. For the amount of money that you would pay on a whole life policy, a term life policy would cost you half, if not even less than half of the cost of a permanent life policy. Now, what this means is, let's say that you were going to pay $800 for $1 million policy, right? You could essentially, the cost of a similar term policy for 10 to 15 years or 30 years might cost you, less than $1 a day if you're healthy. Okay. Health is very important. You see, and a lot of people never think that I'm being serious when it comes to your finances. Your health matters, okay? Because you could also be creating a health risk to your own money, where you're going to end up spending all the money that you're saving and investing on medical bills. So something one to grow on, okay? This is why I'm in the world of health and financial wellness now. So the money that you would have put into a permanent whole life policy, right? You could take that and invest it into an investment vehicle of your choice, right? You could add more to, for those of you who may have a pension, you could add it to your defined benefit or defined contributions plans, right? Which are two types of pension plans, which are basically designed to give you income for the rest of your life, right? Now, there's no guarantee to the amount, but they can guarantee you time, years, and possibly the opportunity to beat out inflation. So those may be some of the things you may want to consider when it comes to your particular interest of investing. Are you investing for yourself? Are you investing to, own that dream car? Those dogs, who let the dogs out? You know what I'm saying? So if you're not looking to do any of that stuff, if you've got children, right? Perhaps what you would have been spending on that whole life policy, you could invest that into a 529 or a Coverdell educational savings account, right? These would also grow tax deferred. Maybe that's also something that you want to consider when it comes to your particular investment needs, right? Do you want to have investment options in your portfolio that reduce your taxable liability, right? Some things that are tax advantaged, all right? So these are things that a lot of people really don't have the opportunity to talk about when it comes to their finances, mostly because they think, hey, it's going to cost a lot of money for an investment advisor, for a financial planner, when you've got guys like me out here who want to give you this education so that way you can make better informed and educated decisions on how to invest into your future, right? Not just financially, but also health-wise, all right? So I got my walk on. I've got about, let's see, I did about an hour and 15 minutes of some strength training and a little bit of mild cardio for the maintenance, because we got to keep it fit and flexy. Because wealthy and fit, that's the next sexy. That's the new sexy. Wealthy and fit is the new sexy. All right. And if you don't know, what you don't know will hurt you. Okay. So getting to know of your health, getting to know of your wealth, and for more tips, please don't forget to turn on your notifications, hit that like button, subscribe, and leave some comments. Let me know how this little walkabout helped you. If it gave you any value, I want to know about it. Dr. Prince L, acupuncturist, doctor of acupuncture and oriental medicine, financial planner. Just want to help the people. A servant. Peace.